man, I'm sad. I missed the best trade of the day today, and that definitely has me a little bit upset at myself. Good note is we did have a green day, so that's a positive. Hey, fellow traders, it's Black Coffee Trader. It is Friday afternoon, April the 11th, and diving into the recap for today, we're looking at ES, and as you can see, this little line I drew in here is absolutely the trade of the day. Right here was just an absolute excellent long. This market was very, very choppy this morning, very, very difficult to read. I was very happy that I did not take very many trades today, and really tried to be very, very careful. And the 5 accounts that we did trade, we managed to stay green. I did keep my near-death account alive and made a couple dollars in it. I had that one a little bit up and down. The other accounts decent. These bottom two pushed them up a little bit more, $100 a piece. So well into the 50,000 marker now by a little bit. So that's good. That's good. We need to keep it going. Maybe eventually we'll get another Apex payout here. So cross your fingers and your toes. But let's talk about what I missed. What I missed was the opening first half hour high, or kind of that opening range high, if you will, right here around the ES 5340s. And this market was so choppy, big moves. Look at this huge candle on NQ. I think, if I remember right, this was like almost a 300-point candle, 18,574s to the 18,395s, so almost 200-point candle, let's put it that way. But just some mega moves, and it was just not fun this morning. I stayed out of it. Thank goodness. Not necessary to trade and blow up accounts that way. I did take a long. I didn't take this one. I was looking, let's actually go out here a little bit. So we kind of had this bit of a chop session, and we had a little bit of a sideways day. We had an uptrending day today. It was a green day on the markets, but I was looking at this area right here. This area right here with around the 5380s, we'll call it, this high from the overnight, basically. I was looking at that area, and I was also looking at these lows coming in here around the 5260s on ES. And obviously my game plan was to long off of this, or possibly short off of this, or look for a break and retest long above the 5380s. I also put a line here with these wicks from the last couple of days. We had some low wicks that really corresponded with some of the overnight trades, and that was just, I just felt like I needed to put a bit of a level there, and I did the same thing on the NASDAQ. We had the same kind of overnight wicks touching there, which lined up with a low from back here in early April. So anyway, the game plan was on ES was to look for longs off of here, shorts off of here, or possible breaks and retest longs. I didn't take this one. The market was moving so rapidly, I just simply didn't trust that move. So I didn't take this long, and just decided to sit through it. We had this move. We got back down, and this held up quite well. And so I finally went long here, and this was honestly, there probably were 2 trades of the day. This was one of them. And I just simply couldn't hold on to it. I mean, I could have, but I don't know. This market is so volatile. Even ES got the first 2 contracts here, and then this thing just, kept pushing down. And I finally, I sat through a lot. I sat through all of this drawdown here, had my stop down here below these low wicks, and I finally just killed the trade, and then we continued to kind of bleed higher, and we pushed out. So I did jump back in on a single contract, and I just got cold feet and killed the trade. But that was a very good setup right there, a very good trade, if you will. Had I held that trade, that could have been really good. But the one I really missed and I'm sad about is this beautiful, beautiful break and retest. Look at how we had this high. We pushed up out of it. We tested it here, pushed through it, and then we rejected and bounced right there, and we shot up. That was an excellent opportunity, and I completely missed it. And here's why I missed it. The reason I missed it is because I was looking at this. This was that level I talked about earlier. This is that level right here. and we had gotten to that point and we were starting to consolidate, and I just wasn't sure. I wasn't getting a clear rejection signal. I almost took this, but I decided against it. I decided to wait because I didn't like the fact that we were still above this overnight wiki high, if you will. Just held on, held off, and then finally on this green, this red wick, when we broke this wick and broke down below it, at that point, on the NASDAQ, you might not be able to see it that well, but this is the NAS over here. At that point on the NASDAQ, we were just below those overnight wiki highs. And so I decided to take it short. Did catch a little bit, but it pushed back out, and I basically got stopped out there, I think, for a little bit of a win. I forget which accounts this was. Yeah, it was these accounts right here. So I got 2 contracts off there. I was in with 3 micros. So it was a positive trade, but these are the types of things that put me on tilt. When I have a setup that I really like and I think a move should happen, and I get a couple of wins like in the trade, and then the market stupidly goes up, and I have to either kill it or it stops me out. That does something. It shouldn't, and it sounds stupid. I'm just being transparent with you. That's something that really, really frustrates me. So we then pushed back down, and again, I was so caught up in this to see what's going to happen here that I completely missed this. I didn't have this line drawn in at that time. And I was trying to keep my eyes open. I've been talking about this is really kind of an eyes wide open market. You need to see the intraday developments and then react to them. And I completely missed this one. And the reason I did, again, I was looking at this, I got stopped out here, did have a winning trade, but got stopped out. And then we started to reject this area right here. This right here is that wiki, I call it that wiki high from overnight. We rejected there and we pushed up here, and then I took it short off of this candle. Took it short, I got 1 contract, and again this thing started pushing and I just killed it. But when we had this doji candle and this push back down, I started getting nervous about it. But that was the entry. That really was the entry for this trade, and I just didn't see it till after the fact. So a little bit disappointed because that could have been a really, really, really nice trade. I did take a hitchhiker setup here. I haven't taken one of my hitchhiker setups in a while. That was on this top account where I was trying to get it back to green. We had the pullback pushed out into the yesterday highs, which really created a little bit of trouble here for the ES. On the NASDAQ, we didn't quite get to yesterday's highs. Yesterday's highs is this purple line. We didn't quite get there. But the thing that really is interesting to me, this level has actually held. I mean, when we bounced off of this and reclaimed it, and this just kind of went sideways here end of the day, but we just wouldn't break down below this. So this is a very, very key spot that we'll be watching going into Monday morning's open, is how well does this area hold on ES. And then if you look at NQ, very, very similar. So this is the overnight highs. This is that 18,800, which is a similar level on the NASDAQ, as that corresponds with this area on the ES. So on Monday, we're going to be looking. We held this, we pushed out of it, we've reclaimed this barely, but we did reclaim this. So this gives me hope that the bulls will be in charge on Monday, and maybe we push this thing out here a little bit higher. So that is something I'll definitely be looking at, both on ES and NQ, to see, did we create kind of a stair step, if you will? Is this going to be a low, a higher low, and then are we going to create another higher low? That would be really, really good if we could see that to push this thing higher. So that's what we're going to be looking at. That's what we'll be focused on. So anyway, just wanted to give you a quick update. Actually, let's take a look at the week on TradeZella. Yep, I did upload today. I mean, again, it's a small green day, but 327, 69% win rate, which is really nice. Had a couple of nice win rates the last couple of days, which is good. And put together a green week. I mean, it's not a big week, but it's green. That's better than the big red week we had last week. And then going into last month, we finished with a very, very big red week on the last full week of the month of March. So I'm happy to be out of that, putting some green back on the charts, and that's what we're looking at. So The other thing that is worth noting is just the quality of the week I had on several of the accounts. Account 69 and 70, these two right here, we made about 400, and the bottom two we made a little over 500 on those this week. So that is good. We did obviously lose the Trade of 8 account, or the Trade of Fi accounts, and that PA number 77, and this one here we are still hanging on to. We're down 400 this week, so maybe never say never, we might be able to hang on to that thing and get it out and get it pushed up to where we have some drawdown and we can get it up into some payouts. So that's the big goal. But hey, thanks for following along. Thanks, new subscribers, and thanks for the comments, the questions, and I'll do my best to answer those as I can. And once again, hope you had a great day. Hope you had a great week, and hope you're not blowing up accounts. This market is a little bit crazy right now, so it pays to be diligent, be careful, and keep the eyes open. So, all right, have a great weekend, my friends, and we'll try to catch up with you next week. Take care, and so long.